March 12th, 2026. How's it going, guys? Well, I got another video for you. What are we going to talk about? Kansas City, Independence, Missouri. We're going to talk about some activists today, cult groups. We're going to talk about drugs, homeless, and the crime here. So, where do I begin? Well, I think I got about 35 minutes on this tablet, so we're going to talk a little bit. About a week ago, there was a Walmart shopping cart that appeared up here by the good old 7-Eleven, but it was further on down on Chrysler by Willis. Now it was about a block away in between. And you would think, at first, these homeless people, sometimes they'll just, go on, they use them, but this didn't get used. And it was a fairly new one. It almost looked like it was brand new. And the problem with Kansas City here, these people, a lot of them, they turn a blind eye to everything, and they don't care. They figure somebody else will do the job, So this went on for several days. And somebody probably over there on the corner in house probably got tired of having to drive around it. People were having to go out, cross the middle lane to get around it. So somebody put it down here right at Chrysler and Willis down there off to the side. I'm going to show that. But this morning, I took my son to work. I thought, well, I'm going to go back by Walmart. And I'm just going to see if they got somebody that can retrieve that shopping cart. How do they do it? Do they own it? I don't think they own it because way back, there was a company that used to be down on 40 Highway that supposedly had like the patent to those shopping carts. And they used to weld on them and stuff down here off, kind of by the American Legion, kind of in that area. And the thing of it is, you would think they would have to be responsible for, since it's their carts, you would think, even if it's maybe a second or a third party, depending on how they're going through this, somebody's got to be responsible for them, Somebody owns them, And then you get to the point, well, basically, whoever owns them should have to either make sure these ones are picked up, that like these people that steal these, and something's getting done about it. Because all these homeless shouldn't be allowed to have these, okay, for one thing. But this was almost causing, cars to run into one another. People were swerving out, honking at one another and stuff. So I'm sure that's why somebody moved it down there on the other end. So I thought, well, I'll go to Walmart today and I'll talk to the manager. And I'll just ask him, do you have anybody like a retrieval deal, like somebody can retrieve it, Well, they must not have, because when I talked to the manager, real nice guy, he said, I can send somebody over to pick it up. I said, well, you don't have anybody just gonna, He said, no, kind of like, he hauled around on it. I really didn't get a clear answer on this. But he said, where's it? I said, well, where 7-Eleven is of them for you. Yeah, kind of. It's a Chrysler and Willis right there. And I'm thinking, what are we supposed to be doing? Dodging all these shopping carts everywhere and nobody's going and picking these up? But it's going to get us further into where this is going to take us. Now, way back about a year ago, actually it was around close to March 11th, there was some prostitutes and druggies that were hanging up back behind O'Reilly's at this other little building. This building at one time was actually a video store. And then it was a pet place where they did like Worcester dogs, dogs, you could take them, get them groomed and stuff. And then it just went vacant. And it's become a deal where the homeless and the druggies and the prostitutes were using it. Well, I'm going to show that real quick because what got my eye today about the activist part of it, they get these people that are not too smart and they get them to fight for their causes and stuff, I got a real good friend I went all the way through school with, a black friend of mine. And he ain't in the like the Black Lives Matter. He believes all lives matter. And I believe, like I say, the same thing. Everybody matters, but you also got to abide by the laws here. Now, this is the most greatest country on the planet. It's a place where you're free, and you can pretty much do anything as long as you don't do anything illegal. And you can get ahead by working at jobs and doing what you need to do. But there's so many people out there who want to do it illegally. They want to do prostitution. They want to do drugs. That goes hand in hand here. Or they want to steal. So how did I get to the activist part? That's what I'm getting to real quick. I see somebody puts this, where these prostitutes and druggies were. They had drawn a marijuana deal like on the side of this building. And they also put Kenya 2025. Now I thought, well, I guess it could be somebody by that name that might have died, but I don't think so. So I did some research, and this was a big thing where a whole bunch of them over there got killed and stuff. They were fighting the government and stuff. And I'm thinking, like I say, this is the most greatest country on the planet where you're free. You can do, as long as you don't try to control other people, you got your own beliefs. You can believe in anything. Just like, just like the Iranian ladies that was over there, on the, what was it, soccer, I believe, over there, the thing of this was, they didn't sing for their first, when they played their anthem like deal, and that was how they were protesting. Well, they finally got asylum over there in Australia, and it was a good thing, because they probably would have beheaded them over there, probably would have killed them. And they didn't have to go back. I think President Trump even called and said, well, if they wouldn't take them, that we would give them asylum here. But Australia did. Good thing. And you notice a lot of them, those, what is it? I think that's called a hijab, deals that they put over their head. A lot of them lost those immediately after they found that they were, in an open, free country. So, we're going to go with that. We're going to show that, but we're going to show what's here in Kansas City, Independence, Missouri. And there's a lot of stuff that's fueling all this stuff more and more. And like I say, the drugs go with it, because the drugs pay for things. It pays for all what they can get around. There's signs, there's other stuff. But if you cut all that out, it makes it a lot harder for them. So let's take a look at this, guys. All right, so I'm going to show the cart back behind O'Reilly's first, okay? Now, you'd probably say, oh, this can't be. Well, yeah, we're going to show it because we got stuff dates back since the pandemic. And it's the real McCoy, guys. Now, these were women. They were druggies, prostitutes that were high. I wanted to show you that. That's the same building. And this is just almost a year ago to date. And you see that there isn't any marijuana symbol there. There isn't anything that says Kenya on it. Now, I'm going to enlarge this because we're going to take a look at this first. But this is Independence, Missouri. This is behind O'Reilly's and the God-fearing big boys up there and stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, man. But, yeah, I want you guys to see if I can enlarge this a little bit more. Well, doesn't that look good? All those women there, they were high and drugged out and stuff, man. This is Kansas City. This is Independence. This is just a year ago. So did it change? Did it get better? Well, let's take a look at this right here. Now, this is today. I took this morning. Does that look good? They got a bed there now. Man, now the prostitutes can have sex with guys or gals, I guess, right there out there in the open. And let's just see what else we got here. And the first thing we're going to do is go to, we got the marijuana, man. Got to have that. That's what this is all about. But then we go over here, and it shows this gorilla. And then there's a picture of a gal. It's drawn here. It's bent over with her feet. That's what that is there. And it's an arrow pointing down to the gorilla, I guess, to go after the gal. But we don't want to forget this. Well, that says Kenya 2025. So this is all related when it comes to these activists and groups here in Kansas City. Oh man, wouldn't you want to go? Wouldn't you want to lay down on that mattress there? And then we got good old Walmart. Well, you know, that's pretty good. That's still a pretty good looking card itself too. I didn't know it was up there. But like I say, you know, here we go again. Crazy stuff, man. Well, you know, you can get away with anything here in Kansas City Independence here, it seems like. But this is Kansas City. This is Independence, Missouri. Now, let me find those other pictures. Hold on. All right, guys. So here it is right here. There's the cart. That's the cart. Now, it was sitting about a block up the road here, in between here originally. But this is where it is now. This is at Chrysler and Willis. And this car was out, like I say, off to the side. And cars were swerving around it and stuff. And it's another brand new cart. Well, I mean, that's a long way. So I assume that these carts here were from over on Nolan. Surely they weren't from 39th Street. I mean, I guess they could be. But man, if that's the case, boy, somebody must have been going a long way with them. That's crazy. So I wanted to show that. Now, hold on, guys. All right, guys. So several times, like I say, it's been sitting here. Now, this was further on down. But if you go past up here, past about where this pole is, a little bit on up here, about where you see my cursor right there, that's where it was sitting, right on that curve. And there was cars almost running into one another. And it was sitting there. And nobody would move it. Nobody moved it. Somebody moved it. Somebody moved it on down to right there where I showed you guys there. But this was crazy. And that's crazy, you know. Here you go. Hold on. So there it is right there. Another day. And it's like I say, it's sitting down there. So I thought, well, I was just curious just to see if Walmart did have, you know, like I say, I think they probably contract out those. I don't know if they own them or not. They might own them anymore. But like I say, I went and I talked to the manager. And interesting. But I couldn't get a straight answer either, other than he said, well, he'd go get it. Yeah, I was thinking, well, I wonder, we'll see if it gets removed or not. We'll see if this one actually gets removed. Because, see, the problem with this is it becomes several other things here. And the thing about that is, hold on, guys. If you, you know, you could go to, you could call Independence Police Department, or you could call zoning, and they could all pass it back and forth. But whoever owns the Walmart carts and it's got their logo on it should be responsible for it. And I mean, it shouldn't be assisting these druggies, homeless, and the prostitutes here. They shouldn't be helping them. Why should they be helping them? They should be, the police should be getting them and getting them some help is what they need to be doing. So hold on. And you can't make this up, guys. Let's show this one more time. The bottom picture was taken on March 11th. Has anything changed? Well, no. There's a mattress there. And you got all these other things written on there now, too. You got a shopping cart there. I mean, come on. And has Independence done anything about these people? No. Has Kansas City, Missouri done anything about these people? No. So, I mean, you know, that's Kansas City. That's Independence, Missouri. And that's what you're going to be coming into when you come to the soccer deal here in Kansas City. Because this is just one part of the whole entire area where it's like this. And it's like this completely all over everywhere. But this is over where I live, and this is why I show this. Because some of this stuff needs to be stopped. So let's get on with a little bit more. Got a few more things I can show real quick. So I was up there by Gordman's, and see these two guys in this vehicle, and it looks like it's got a I don't know, fire hydrant on the back. Now, these guys, there's people who go up here to these buildings and they steal stuff out of the buildings. They cut metal out, they do different things. So I was thinking, I wonder what they're doing here. But then I get looking at this too. Let's just first we're gonna take a look at this. Let's see if this looks like a. Doesn't that look like a fire hydrant, guys? Is that a fire hydrant there? But then I get thinking here too. Look at this. Is that a city number there? Tag number? Is it up Missouri 4430? So that's the city of Independence up there. What are they doing in this slum, drugged out, infested building area? Early this morning on Thursday morning here in Independence. Let's try to see what I can see a guy at it. Let's see if I can get this to come in here a little bit better. Oh, he was reaching in there for something. I was trying to figure out what are they doing. I mean, they're not at the outer edges. What are they doing at that fire hydrant? I don't know. Just another thing, those buildings need to be bulldozed down, man. They just need to knock them down. But I mean, there's been people, I've seen people up even on these roofs. I'm shocked at some of these air conditioners. There's a few of them still left because I've seen people carrying stuff you wouldn't believe, metals and different things out. That's what I figured when I first looked at this too. I figured, man, somebody's probably over there and they're trying to cut some more metal or something out. I don't know. You know, just great Kansas City Independence here, but that's just another weird thing, guys. Very strange. Hold on. Oh yeah, guys. And Independence did get 23rd Street, get some of those potholes finally repaired. You know, let's talk about one good thing out of the 100 bad things we got going on here. But I wanted to let everybody know that they did fill those potholes on 23rd Street between Chrysler and Nolan Road there. So at least you won't be falling into that. And there was one you probably could have fell completely in too, guys. All right, guys. And other crazy things. I just posted a deal where this gal was a couple gals and this guy had a couple vehicles over by La Fuentes. And one of their vehicles broke down. And before they could even get out of the parking lot for the tow truck, they were toking on that pipe so much you wouldn't believe. I just showed that yesterday, and I made a couple comments about there has been fights. Actual physical confrontations out here in front of this rapid fire. And there was also a couple of gals that met up with the gal from La Fuentes. They put this blanket around her. And I wanted to, somebody said, oh, that can't be. They put a blanket around her, but then they took the blanket and they left. Now, I'm just going to show where they meet up. But this was crazy. And if you're coming out of La Fuentes, why did you need a blanket on anyway? And then why would they take the blanket away from the gal? I thought it was some homeless or something. But these two heavy-set gals parked over here off the corner, and they meet up with this. I want to show this. This is just another crazy thing that goes on in these parking lots and stuff here. Advance this just a hair to get this moving, because I'm getting close to running out of time, guys. But I wanted to show you guys this. Okay, now these are the gals over here that are going to get a blanket out. And this is a gal coming in out of La Fuentes. And they're going to meet up here in this corner. Let's see if I can enlarge this anymore. And they're going to wrap her in this blanket. And they're going to talk to her for a little bit. And then they take the blanket back and leave. And I thought, well, first you'd think, well, did she look like she had looked like she had a jacket on. I don't know. But man, there's some weird stuff here in Independence and Kansas City to go on. Have you guys ever seen anything like that before? Oh my God. Crazy stuff. But I can back everything up that I say. And man, I can back it up. I mean, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I don't know. Insane. See, you have one gal, the other heavy gal, she was looking around like, I'm thinking, what are they doing? And then they didn't even let the gal have the blanket. All right, guys, I'm about ready to run out of my minutes here on my tablet here, so I wanted to show this. This was nuts. So hold on. All right, guys, and I wanted to show that just one more time because, like I said, I only got about a minute left here to get. So we'll see if Walmart comes and picks that one card up. And there's just another one, I guess, to take its place, huh? All right, guys, we're going to finish her up here. So, I don't know. We'll see. Like I say, we'll see if they come get the shopping cart. But I just thought I had time this morning. I thought I'd go by and just see if they did have anybody could retrieve them. I mean, there's shopping carts all over different areas through here, but those were new ones. So you'd think they'd want them back at least. You'd think they'd want them all, you know. I mean, somebody had to put out money for them. But, and then, I mean, it looks like there's still stuff going on back there behind that building, behind O'Reilly's. I mean, if they got a mattress there, oh boy, I mean, man, not good. You see that mold? Oh, not good at all. Like I say, that's where the gals were there. That's where they were hooking and everything else. Something Independence needs to still be looking at. Jackson County Sheriff in Kansas City, Missouri. And he knows what's going on up there at Gordon's. They need to bring the bulldozers for Toys R Us and Gordon's. Those places are just done. I mean, they are done. Anyway, guys, you know, this country, like I say, is the greatest place on the planet. And it sure seems that everybody wants to come here, but then everybody wants to knock it and destroy it. You know, like I say, everybody should appreciate this country. And I think down the line they will. Anyway, keep your eyes open and stay safe out there.